Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you for accepting our invitation and joining us here today along with our partner Rockwell Automation. I am Magid Gamal, Regional Sales and Business Development Director for AQESA. We started our partnership journey with Rockwell in 2018, and it's our goal to help you choose the best product that fits your needs and requirements. That is why we have a very strong technical team in AQESA helping you through the product selection. We intend to help you out in any way we can. And we are happy to announce that we in AQESA got the highest customer satisfaction in all EMEA region, and to keep all our customer happy and satisfied as developing our partnership with you and give you the best services and value. AQESA and Rockwell started technical training program before COVID-19 wave. So please contact us if you would like to attend our next training and let us know what you are looking for in the next training. We will have joint monthly webinars with Rockwell team to give you the new updates in the automation product. Today we will give you overview of PLC and panel views. I will leave the technical part and the technical details discussion with Pankaj, the Rockwell business leader for E&S and CBS, and Kamal Mikawi, the technical consultant and the team leader from Rockwell side. And I have one more great news. We have a wide range of Rockwell automation products available now in stock for immediate delivery. So finally, just to check with Rockwell and AQESA account managers for the availability of your required product immediately after the webinar. And finally, allow me to share with you a short survey after the webinar in the chat box about what you would like to know in the next webinar. Thank you again for joining us. And now, Kamal, you can start.
Okay, thank you, Majid. Again, thank you for all joining this call. A very warm welcome. And I hope that you as well as your families are keeping safe during these difficult COVID-19 times, So with that, as Majid said, this is just the first of many such events that we have planned in the coming months. The first one today will focus mainly on what is the portfolio we have, which Kamal will take over the presentation in a few minutes now. And our focus here during this presentation is to show you what you have already installed, in the kingdom, what has been installed over the last several years, and as well as what, as Rockwell, we have introduced in the last few years, for example, which is also being delivered and being installed, but it is something to, show you as a comparison of what you already have for the last few years and what is something new in the same product family, So that will be the focus of this session. So one of a few housekeeping things. Since there is a large number of people on the call, it would be very much appreciated that if you keep your microphones on mute. And as we go along, please share your thoughts, your comments, any questions in the Teams chat box. As we go along, some of our teams will pick up those questions and answer those. Or at the end, we will have some time for a Q&A session as well. So that is how we'll proceed. And just as a short introduction for myself, so I'm Pankaj Shrivastava. I have been with Rockwell for close to 21 years, and my responsibility is on the product business, which covers the automation software and low voltage products. So I have, almost 3 decades of experience in the automation sector. And of course, in the last several months, it's not been possible, but I have been frequently traveling to Saudi Arabia as well for last many, many years, as you can imagine. So with that, let me just quickly, introduce you the integrated architecture, just give you a slight background, and then give the control to Kamal, to take over it. So this is something, if you look at integrated architecture, we coined this term close to 20 years ago, and the emphasis, a lot of emphasis was on how we, develop the products, and the solutions in terms of automation, software, intelligent devices, control systems, so that, things seamlessly interconnect to each another, without a lot of programming. So the emphasis was more on configuration. So as some of you who have already used our products would have realized that, so that has been an emphasis, and that is why the term integrated architecture was coined, So that's a brief history. And as we go along, because it's been quite a few years actually, and in the past we have done quite a few customer sessions in the kingdom face to face as well. Unfortunately, during these times, a lot of us have got used to remote events such as this. And as I said, as we go along, we will have a lot more sessions focus on different topics and solutions. And as Majid said, in the chat box, please type in whatever you feel, your thoughts, some topics, that you would like to, for us to present in the future. Please do that. We will all seriously review those things, So without much ado, let me pass on the control to Kamal. And Kamal is the senior technical consultant as part of the Rockwell team in Saudi Arabia, and he works very closely with the AQESA sales experts and the technical support team as well. So Kamal, please take over.
Thank you. Hello everyone, good afternoon. Thanks for joining. Today we'll talk about, the invitation was sent, what's new about PLCs and HMIs. We saw that we will talk about what you have, as Pankaj said, and what's new about these products. So the first item, as you can see here, the integrated architecture is a full solution starting from control and IOs, network and security, operator interface, software, motion control, and sensing, and integrating all these things together, or all these devices together, with a smart automation system, with a smart intelligence. Will increase, of course, your productivity, and we are focusing now on Ethernet and the Internet of Things, and security is a big deal, so we need a smart, productive, secured architecture. So we'll start with the controllers, and we focused on the scalability. So we have scalability in the family of the controllers. We have micro 800, micro 1400, and compact logics, then control logics. Inside the family itself, within the family, for example, micro 800, we have scalability inside this family. So it is a wide range of micro-sized controllers, built-in IOs from 10 points up to 48 points, and it will support with expansion IOs up to 300 digital IOs. It has plug-ins and expansion modules to increase the IOs. One software to develop all the family, it is called Connected Component Workbench. And it has a lot of communication. It supports Ethernet, serial, USB, Modbus, TCP, Modbus, RTO, ASCII. And you can even put gateways for other communications to Ethernet or to Modbus. It can communicate with VFDs, motion controllers, everything over Modbus or over Ethernet. So for micro controllers, we have the micro 800 and the micro 1400, which has embedded, again, Modbus RTU, master-slave protocols, ASCII. It has capabilities for several IOs, up to 7 expansion IOs. It has built-in DNB3 and other protocols, and of course, web server and email capabilities. So that's for microcontrollers. In the mid-range or mid-size control systems, we have the compact logics controllers. And again, we market this in stock. When you see in stock, we know that these items are stocked in Saudi Arabia. Compact logics for the mid-size control systems, starting from 16 IOs, 16 input, 16 output, up to 1,000 digital IOs. Within the Compact Logix controllers, we have 3 subfamilies. We have Compact Logix 5480, Compact Logix 5380, and Compact Logix 5370. Let's say that the new family, or the high performance family we call, it is 5380, and we have a computer embedded in the 5480. So this controller can handle enable IO up to and motion up to over Ethernet up to 150 axes, includes gigabit speed for linear device level ring topologies, or it has 2 Ethernet ports with 2 IPs, 2 different IPs, so you can communicate to 2 different subnet. What is the difference between this guy 5480 and 5380? That this one has an embedded computer inside it. So you will have a Logix controller plus a computer with Windows 10 IoT. Of course, you can install on that whatever applications you have. You can install a SCADA station or SCADA client. You can install the engineering software. You can install a third-party software. It is a computer. Then you can install whatever software you want. For 5380, and again, we have stock of these 5380 and 5370, but not 5480 in stock. Integrated motion over Ethernet up to 32 axes, integrated safety up to cell 2, machine safety. And we have 2 Ethernet ports for this guy. The difference between 5380 and 5370 Ethernet ports, that these are gigabit ports and these are 100 mega, and 5380 Giga can be 2 different IPs, but 5370 can have 1 IP only for DLR or linear or star. Of course, high-speed IOs. We are talking about microsecond speed IOs now, not millisecond. Enhanced security features. For 5370, this one we have for 10 years now. It has also integrated motion, but up to 16 axes. This one almost the double. Again, the Ethernet port is for linear and device level ring, integrated safety up to cell 3 and on machine version. Going to complex machine and process, we go to the control logics. And the main concept of control logics that we have, we upgrade and concentrate on the CPUs and the communication modules. The good thing about control logics, if you have installed base like 20 years ago of control logics racks and power supplies and IOs, all you need is to change the controllers and the communication, and you keep the existing installed base. So for control logics, we have for now 2 families of the CPUs, 5570 and 5580. The 5570 is it supports cell 2 process safety and supports cell 3 machine safety. Okay, it can support up to 100 axes for motion, conformal coated, and 70 degrees operating temperature is available. Redundancy and removal insertion under power, of course, for control logics. Going to 5580, the high performance CPU. Now we have 1 gigabit Ethernet port embedded in the CPU. It comes with support motion over up to 256 axes. It support cell 3 machine safety up to now. It comes in conformal coated, extreme temperature up to 70 degrees, of course, remove insert under power, and is certified for the IEC security standard. What's new about these families? With version 33, we have delivered now a next generation of NSE controllers that you can use in hazard area for L80. And we have the extreme controllers, extreme environment from minus 25 degrees up to 70 degrees operating temperature. And for this family, we have L81, L82, XT, L83, and so on. But in the L7, we have only L73 XT, okay? So this is a very good news to have a small controller with the XT capabilities for small applications. Another new information about the L8 family and the Compact Logix 5380, that Now we have 5580 process controllers. It comes in 3 catalogs up to now. We have L81P, 83, 85B with 3 mega, 10 mega, and 40 megabyte. What's new about this family? This family is designed for PlantBX 5, where the library, the process library, the DCS library is embedded in the firmware of this CPU. So it is off the shelf. You bring the CPU, drag it in the chassis, and start programming the DCS programming immediately. You don't need to import add-on instructions and so on. Again, a main difference between L8 and the L7 family, the speed, like if you have a ladder, the speed is like 20x speed. If you have a structured text function block diagrams, it is 10x speed than the L7. We didn't forget the compact logics for process controllers. We have 2 and 4 megabit versions of compact logics 5380, which has the library embedded in that. Again, it is out of the box DCS programming or process programming. ControlLogix 5580 now is redundant. If you download version 33, you can have redundant system. It is similar to L7 redundancy. We still have the L7 redundancy, but we have some, let's say, differences between the two CPUs. So you have, if you want high availability, redundancy, but L8 can control over Ethernet only. The L7 can control over Ethernet and ControlNet. Both of them are dual chassis design. Transparent switch over both of them, up to 7 communication modules. Of course, if it is L8, it will be Ethernet only. If it is L7, it can be Ethernet or ControlNet. Next part of the integrated architecture or next products, the I/O portfolio. We have the chassis-based I/Os, process distribution I/Os. We have ControlLogix Flex I/Os, explosion-proof I/Os that can be installed in Class 1 Division 2 hazard area. 1715 redundant I/Os. We have dynamics for vibration. It is not I/Os. It has its own CPUs inside as per API 670. The dynamics or the condition monitoring, I will not say I/Os, controllers should have their own CPUs to trip the machine before failure or before high vibration. So somehow it is I/Os and not I/Os because it is added to the CPUs. We have the Compact Logix 5000 I/Os and Compact I/Os, the point I/Os and the on-machine I/Os. I'm just telling the names because they are in the coming slide. We talk about them. Just a small hint here. We have a new I/Os here like Flex 5K, Flex 5000 and the Compact 5000. And we have the existing I/Os, Flex I/Os, they are there for a long time, and Compact I/Os. So the concept of the new CPUs can handle all the I/Os. Okay, if you have the L8, you can handle all these I/Os. But if you have L7 or the Compact Logix 5370, you cannot handle, this CPU cannot handle the 5000 and the Compact 5000, okay? That's a small hint. So when we talk about the ControlLogix, it is peer-to-peer communication, everything on the back plane communication, multi-discipline capabilities, specialty I/Os. You can have high-speed counters, flow meters, modules, encoders, programming, even programmable limit switch capabilities. You have digital I/Os from 8 points per module up to 30 points per module, isolated, non-isolated, fused, and so on. Diagnostics. We have for the analog, all the analog signals you may have. We have HART, we have cell 2 safety, we have thermocouples, RTDs, and whatever signal you need, we have modules for this. We have sequence of events with milli or microseconds time span. Again, if we talk about communication, we focus more now on Ethernet because Ethernet is, you can deal with high speed from 10 mega, 100 mega, and 1 giga. We prepare everything for the Internet of Things. And even if you attended our automation fair, there was a very nice session about using one pair of cable for transferring Ethernet. It is coming this year. The standard is written now. By end of 2021, there will be a standard to use this, and Rockwell is helping with that. What's new about this family or these adapters? We have the EN4TR. This adapter is it is already there. You can use primary and backup adapters for IOs. You can have here dual adapter EN4TR pair. The EN4TR will not be installed in the redundant rack. You will install EN2TR, but you can have pairs of EN4TR. And you can have redundant adapter for that. That's a new information. Again, the ControlLogix IOs are stocked in Saudi Arabia, and Flex IOs are stocked in Saudi Arabia. The Flex IOs 1794, we have modular design, extreme environment up to 70 degrees. It is available. Remove insert under power, what some people prefer to call it hot swap. It can be installed horizontal and vertical, and this is very good. Some people install it instead of the terminal blocks, beside the terminal blocks. Network capabilities support Ethernet, control net, and device net, and we vote for Ethernet as long as you can use the Ethernet. Dual Ethernet ports for linear and device level ring, one IP. Again, it supports all the analog IOs, thermocouples, RTDs, HART, and the digital. Again, it is protected, standard, electric fuse, diagnostics, non-diagnostics. All the options are there. High-speed counters and so on. The new Flex 5000, it is we got the idea from Flex, and a lot of people like the Flex IOs. So it is modular design, remove insert under power. The wiring is wide range of wiring you can use. It supports up to 16 modules, and here you can install. The one adapter can handle only 8 modules. We have here some adapters can handle 8 modules, and other adapters can handle 16 modules per adapter. It is operating standard operation is from -40 to 70 degrees, variant available. The good thing that it has the Ethernet port now. It is 1 giga Ethernet port, and support device level ring, linear and star, and parallel redundant protocol, PRP. We will see a slide about PRP coming. So the dual Ethernet port can be 2 copper or 2 fiber. A lot of remote IOS panel, you suffer to have a media converter or having a switch for only one adapter. You will put a Ethernet switch, and the Ethernet switch in a remote area is a security risk and so on. So we can have a fiber SFP port can be installed here with fiber multi-mode or single mode or whatever. You can always in the new platforms or even some let's say point IOs, you can mix and match between the IOs here, even the cell 3 IOs. So you don't need a separate rack for the cell IOs and separate rack for the process and so on. So you can have we will talk about what is the enhanced diagnostics, because the diagnostics was before you need to create a ladder and make drawings for diagnostics. Diagnostics with this family and the L8 became automatic diagnostics. Faster, of course. As I told you, the speed now we are talking about microseconds, not milliseconds. And it supports L3 of the machine safety. What is the automatic diagnostics? It is only a checkbox in the CPU programming. You will just tick the checkbox, and you enable.
Hey, Kamal, just a brief pause. I don't know. It's only me or others as well. Because the focus has gone to you rather than the presentation. Actually,
yeah.
Is what needs to be done there?
Let me check. Can you change focus? What do you?
Yeah,
Do you
now
want
it's
to change the?
yeah, it's okay. It's okay now. It's okay.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay. So in all the versions of IOs, we needed to create a ladder and faceplate on the HMI to monitor each module of this and each point of this if it is it is running fine or we have a fault or something. But now you can just, it is a small checkbox in the CPU configuration to enable automatic diagnostics. Then the CPU will have all the diagnostics of the system, and including, of course, the IOs, the adapters, everything. And it will send the information to the alarm and event server directly. That will, let's say, not increase, reduce the mean time to repair dramatically. The next IO family, it is 1719 IOs. It is safety IOs. It is installed, can be mounted in Zone 2, Class 1, Division 2. Connect with field devices. You don't need safety barrier because safety barrier is embedded. Modular chassis, you can have 8, 21, 24 slots per chassis. Add-on profile for Studio 5000, then you can configure like any Rockwell IOs. It is Ethernet IP only. We don't promote any other communication with this. It can be ring or linear or switch, dual Ethernet ports. Okay, configurable analog digital IOs, flexible with the hard 8-channel NAMOR input module, 2 digital outputs modules, power supply redundancy is there. Sister family of this is for deeper zone, we call it 1718. It is for zone 1, okay? You can up to zone 1 certified enclosure built by a certified panel builder. Rockwell Automation Incubus, which is P&F, offers 6 standard enclosures for this family. You will get the enclosure with the chassis, and you can purchase the modules separately. So what the benefits of 1719 and 1718? You allow IOs to be mounted closer to field devices. You don't lay multiple cable. Ease of configuration by the Logix 5000. It is Ethernet port, dual Ethernet port. Scalability for you can have 8 slots, 22 or 24. Here you can have 10, 20 or 30 or 40 slots. Hard 7 is supported. Hard 7 means you can get all the hard information you need. Power supplies can be multiple redundant power supply. 1715 redundant IOs. This one is in stock in Saudi Arabia. You can get immediate delivery. So this IOs, before these IOs, we used to have dual redundancy using 2 chassis of control logics and termination board, and programming was a little tricky. With this family 1715 redundant IOs, you can get the wires from the field up to here, and signal is duplicated inside this terminal base. So you can just and the IOs are the redundancy is handled by the firmware. So if one module is down, the other is there. It will be handled automatically by the firmware. The IOs are there. We have 420 milliamp 16 channel output. Sorry, input 16 channel, output 8 channels. Digital input is 16 channel. Digital output is 8 isolated channels. It supports suitable for use with 5570 IOs as controllers for Cell 2 applications. And again, it is Cell 2 safety, process safety, not machine safety. Okay, the integrated condition monitoring, again, this is a little tricky because these are somehow IOs because you add them to the control logics or compact logics IO tree, and they are monitored by the control logics or compact logics CPU. But for API 670 compatibility or compliance, we need these controllers to be, let's say, if you disconnect the cable between this module and the Logix CPU, the protection against vibration, it is there. Unlike if you have, let's say, a RTD module or digital output or analog output, if you lose communication between the IO module and the CPU, you don't have any protection or any readings. You have a fault, okay? But this one is not like this because this is API 670 compliant issue. So this module comes with 4 channels to be configured for any type of vibration or position sensor. So if you have accelerometer, velocity meter, proximity sensor, any of them can connect it to any of the 4 channels of this guy. Measurement, communication, and tags, alarms, module, everything will go over Ethernet to the logic CPU. And that's what it makes it special. Because with some configuration, configuration also is implemented by Logic's designer, Studio 5000. The benefit of having all the information of vibration and the spectrum and the bands, everything, frequencies, amplitudes, everything is sent to the CPU. Then on the CPU, the small ladder, you can know what is the root cause of vibration. You don't only tell the operator that there is a high vibration alarm. You tell the operator that there is unbalance on your machine or misalignment or whatever. It is also conformal coated circuits up to 70 degrees operating temperature, dual redundant power supply, certified for marine standards for choke and vibration, can be installed in hazard area, class 1, division 2. So you can install it in a panel, outdoor panel, without any need to lay a huge amount of cables. Network capabilities, it has 2 Ethernet ports, 100 mega, 10 or 100 mega for DLR or linear or switch. You can connect to a star using switch. Come on, okay. Next IOs family is Compact Logix IOs 1769. This is, we call it Compact Logix 5370. You have a built-in. This one can be. It is rackless design. Sorry. It can be used in local or distributed IOs. It is built-in removable terminal blocks, provide flexibility. It can be installed on the DIN rail or panel mounted. It supports dual Ethernet port for linear device Ethernet. You can put here adapter. This is a CPU in the photo, but you can put adapter. Again, the IOs are digital, analog, RTDs, thermocouples, hard, isolated, non-isolated, and all the capabilities are there. The new Compact Logix 5000, again, we are talking about 200 microsecond update rate, and for the fast one, it is 10 microsecond update rate, high performance. It's compatible with the 5380 controllers and 5580. Again, the concept, as I told you, the new controllers can be controlled by the new IOs, sorry, can be controlled by the new controllers, but not the old controllers. Again, this is in stock. You can order it, and delivery is immediate. The Ethernet port is 1 giga embedded Ethernet port to support the Internet of Things. It can have other communication, but Ethernet it can support. It has a serial port, DF1, Modbus, and some other protocols. It has universal analog IOs where you can put RTDs, thermocouples, zero voltage current, and again it has isolated, non-isolated IOs, and so on. I believe this is the last. No, still have one. The next one is point IOs. It is modular design. It is remove insert under power or hot swap. Removable wiring, terminal blocks. You can remove the wiring and then install, then bring back. It support device net, Ethernet, and control net, dual Ethernet port, IO link. And IO link is something we can talk about in another discussion, but in brief, it is like a hard communication of the analog. We have IO link for the digital, where you have the signal loaded by digital information about the sensor and diagnostics about the sensor. So again, we have for this all the type of the IOs, the HART, the RTDs, thermocouples, digital, analog, and it has RS-232 or RS-485 modules that can be installed in the rack to communicate with third party. New information that almost now all the modules of the IOs and the controllers are coming in a conformal coated option. So the standard product is not conformal coated, but you can order any of these families as conformal coated. Not only what you see now. We have the HMIs, we have the Ethernet switches, we have the ETABs. Everything is conformal coated. What's that? Okay, on track. Okay, next we are talk about networks and security portfolio. And if we present this like 7 years ago or 10 years ago, we had more than 7 network protocols. DF1, Data Highway Plus, Data Highway 485, Device Net, Ethernet, Control Net, and I forgot one, Remote IOs. RIO. So now when we talk about Ethernet, we talk about networks. Sorry, we mention Ethernet mainly. And when we talk about Ethernet, we have the media switches and the Wi-Fi and security. So the family name, we call it Stratix switches. We have managed switches, unmanaged, wireless access point that we get from our Encompass partners. And we have security appliance and communication modules of the IOs and the embedded switch. We'll talk about these separately. So the portfolio for now is like this. If we need unmanaged switch, we'll go to Stratix 2000. If we need lightly managed switch, we go to Stratix 2500. If we need to go to something in the middle, fully managed, but it has 2 gigaports only, and the other are 100 mega, we go to the, and of course we have 4 fiber here. We have up to 4 fiber or IP67 armored. We will go to the Stratix 5700. The next is 5400, where you have all giga, all fiber, very powerful CPU. Operation temperature is harsh environment operation temperature. And if you need 19-inch one with high performance managed with 1 giga and 10 giga, we'll go to this guy 5410. Again, we have almost all the switches are in stock in Saudi Arabia, except the 5410. Oh, you don't see my finger. 5410 and the armored 5700. They are not in stock, but we have 5400, 5700, 2000. Please move. So why Stratix switches? Why you don't get from other part? When you make a design, we have tools to select you to increase the engineering and the risk, validating the performance using CBDWE manuals, a custom add-on profile and add-on instructions to add it in the logic CPU, offline network performance. It supports device level ring integrated in the CPU, loop detection and prevention, security features. You can use tools like IAB, Integrated Electrical Builder, and other tools inside this embedded in that to make the configuration. Operation, it is operating temperature centric configuration via express setup. Anyone who knows Cisco can configure the Stratix very easy. Or even you don't know Cisco, we have this express setup and you can follow the manual. In a few minutes, you configure the switch. You can deploy and recover configuration via SD card capabilities. You can, when you make the configuration, you can save to the SD card and recall from the SD card. DHCP per port. Improve mean time to repair by having a DLR specific faceplates, pre-built switch specification. The switch itself, you can have, as you can add on instruction inside the CPU, the logic CPU. The CPU will monitor the state of the switch. If the switch is down, the faceplate on the SCADA or the HMI can tell you that the switch has some problems. Please fix it. You can have auto device configuration, and recently, if you know our asset management software, the configuration of the static switches now can be stored on the asset management disaster recovery server. So when we talk about unmanaged or lightly managed switch, we will go to the Stratix 2000 if unmanaged. No configuration required, just to bring from the box, connect power, connect the RJ, but it is not perfect for security. Multiple combination of fast Ethernet and gigabit. You can have gigabit and SFP and fiber up to 16 ports. When you need, let's say we need some little management, but we don't need to jump to the big managed, sorry for my hands, jump to the big switches. We'll go to the lightly managed 2500. That is addresses network, uptime, little management, where we have VLANs, we have some security features, we have diagnostics information about the switch, but we have only 2 catalog numbers, no fiber, 5 copper or 8 copper. So if we need more than this, we'll go to 5700 and Armor Stratix 5700, where you have power over Ethernet, NAT, network address translation, integrated device level ring and some catalog numbers, and again, you can have up IP67. We need something bigger. Again, this one have maximum 2 giga ports, 1 giga ports. Even if you have 4 fiber, 2 of them are 1 giga. But if you need all giga, all fiber, up to 20 ports per module, per switch, we'll go to Stratix 5400 up to, again, another thing that we can have this in layer 2 only. Stratix 5700, 5400 can come in layer 3. If you need rack mount or 19-inch rack mount, we'll go to the Stratix 5410. We will not forget security appliance. Security is, let's say, people prefer to call it firewall, and security and Rockwell automation is a big concern. We start from the CPU, the logic CPU itself. We have security on that. The switch, we have security on the switch. And even it is, if we are communicating to outside world, we'll go to the Cisco ASA firewall and firepower, which is supported by Stratix 5950. So it supports all the, it comes in, it support deep packet inspection, all the protocols, or all the services that needed for security and firewall. Again, it comes in copper or fiber, or copper and fiber. There's another small part for security. It is called 1783-CSP or SIP security proxy. If you need to have SIP security, let's say some devices at the field, they don't know or support SIP security, we can install this guy between the supporting SIP security devices and the non-supporting devices. So it will communicate with these, sorry. Network address translation, where you have inside your machine, you have one IP, and outside your machine, you have different IP. So you need them to translate this IP together. All the managed switches have the NAT capability and some catalog numbers, not all the family have the capability. But sometimes you need only one port to be translated and a small device, that's NAT-R. That's a module designed specifically for the device level ring, and it will translate to the outside world through this port a different IP. We have Ethernet to device net gateways. We have, let's say we have all the possible communication and protocols to Ethernet, okay? So we can help you with that. Next is software and analytics portfolio. Let's talk about the design. When we talk about the design, we have the design Studio 5000. We can configure almost everything with the Studio 5000, starting with the CPUs, IOs, VFDs, soft starters, vibration, what else? Almost everything, except the Micro 800. It needs connected component workbench. Factory Talk, we have visualization and collaboration. We have Factory Talk View for SCADA and HMIs. And we have Factory Talk Team 1 to make collaboration between the team. You can send messages, SMSs, and these things to your, not SMSs, it is notification on your phone. And we have the Factory Talk for analytics and maintenance. We have a lot of products under that, but today we'll talk about analytics, Factory Talk analytics for devices, and Asset Center for disaster recovery. Please. So when we say the Studio 5000, a single design environment for almost many discipline and industries, combines engineering and design and simulation, and you can simulate your ladder, you can simulate to your operator. So you can have a central launching place for all the, you can have logics designer, you can have architect, you can have application code manager, and view designer, emulate. If you look, before we had it, its name was RS Logix 5000 because RS Logix was only the ladder, or let's say the configuration software of the CPU and IOs. But Studio 5000 now has the Logix Designer, which before called RS Logix 5000. We have the View Designer for the HMIs. We have the Emulate. We have the Application Code Manager. We have the Architect. Connected Component Workbench, it is a very nice software, and it is a free software. It is supporting connected component products like the Micro 800 and the Panel View 800 to be programmed by this software. And it follows IEC 61131, that's 3 for PLC programming. You can configure also our VFDs, soft starters, and other, let's say, safety relays using the Connect Component Workbench. A new thing that people are using, you know that Compact Logix and Control Logix both are programmed by Studio 5000. So you can change the controller, take a copy, and so on. What's new that you can copy these to Connected Component Workbench. So you can copy paste a code that you made for Control Logix or Compact Logix to Connected Component Workbench easily, reuse or share ladder logic between Connected Component Workbench and Studio 5000. So when we talk about visualization software, Factory Talk View, it is our SCADA, machine level and supervisory level. When we say machine level, we mean the HMIs that installed on the panel door. It is running with Factory Talk View, and the SCADA also is running with Factory Talk View, but this one is machine level and the SCADA is supervisory level. But your operator will see almost the same interface on the HMI and on the panel door or on the SCADA workstation. Thin Manager, I have a small presentation, or let's say 1-2 slides about Thin Manager. I'll talk about later. Microsoft, Factory Talk Team 1 is a self-contained app. You can purchase subscription for that. Enables collaboration between the team and communicate with the system in your factory. And it will tell you that this VFD is having an error, the PLC is having an alarm, and so on. And you can send the correct person, direct him to go and solve the issue. Going to the Thin Manager. Thin Manager is a solution that we have contents like, let's say, Panel View plus Panel View 5000, HMI, ERP, MS, CMMS, whatever web contents, IP camera. All you need to do is to configure the Thin Manager server to take all the information from all these software and deliver them to by device, by user, by location. If you are in different location, you can see different information. If I am in this chemicals building, I need to have the SCADA, the HMIs, and if I'm engineer, I need the programming inside this building. So based on who is logging in and where and which device is using, you can choose to show contents. This one is little clearer. let's say, centralized server or applications having the HMI, the whatever. You may go to a control room looking to like 20 PCs or more spread on the control room. Turbines guys having different software. The let's say the electrical team having electric SCADA or electrical SCADA. The operation, the normal process, and the other small fire and gas, camera, CCTV, and so on. What will the thin manager do? It will control who see what, and you can combine information on same display. You can have up to 25 content on that display, okay, or that monitor. Our new thin manager thin client hardware can support up to 7 4K displays or monitors. So you can put 7 4K, 25 content on that. That's everything in your site, including cameras, including firefighting, including fire and gas systems. Everything can be monitored. The good thing about Thin Manager that your let's say your operator, your engineer, your manager can have all the information on a control room, or let's say not control room. You can have a desktop computer. You can have a Thin Manager. You can have a tablet or phone. All he needs to do is to log in as this person. He see all the contents, and he see nothing else except what is meant to see. You cannot see. You don't share the full VMware image. You share only the contents only. Another new thing, when we discuss about the EN2T, the Flex 5000 adapter, the EN4TR, the EN2TP control logics, these support PRP, parallel redundant protocol, where you have two redundant networks running separately. They can be star, they can be ring like this one, and you can communicate with control logics or Flex 5000, or that's it, nothing until now. Flex IOs, control logics through EN2TP or EN4TR. That's for high availability. What about for Rockwell products hardware? We will use factory talk links, formerly known as RS Links Enterprise. For third-party OPC, UA, or DP, for OPC UA, we will use factory talk links, OPC UA connector. For the upper level, for SCADA or IoT platform or whatever, we have another small software called Factory Talk Links Gateway for third-party UA. Of course, we have a solution for OPC DP, but OPC UA is the future because it is the encrypted version of the OPC. Don't forget that our Micro 800 compact logics and control logics are supporting the MQTT for IoT platform. Then if you have any MQTT broker and want to communicate with our PLCs, it can do it directly. The design software, continue, we'll talk about Factory Talk Analytics for devices. What is the Factory Talk Analytics for devices? It's a small computer that you will install inside your network, Ethernet network, and it will go to any Ethernet supporting CIP device, sorry, on the network, and it will collect all the information, and it will make a very small card like for you here, and tells you that this device is having a fault, this device is memory is full, this device needs maintenance, this device, and so on. So the Factory Talk Analytics for devices, something needs to be covered in some other presentation. Factory Talk Asset Center, it is a server that you will get, and it will communicate again to the network. Again, the Factory Talk Analytics for devices, Factory Talk Asset Center, you can bridge through networks. So if you have a network 192.168.1 dot something, and beside it another network 10 dot whatever, it can communicate to this through the backplane of the logics. Back to the asset center. Asset center is the software that you will install on a server. It will monitor all the CPUs, VFDs, HMIs, software like factory talk view, and it will make a backup, let's say every whatever you choose, every day, every week, every month, and it will compare the backup with the physical one. A lot of sites, the maintenance engineer will go and to solve a problem, he will make a jumper, let's say a software jumper. He will change a timer, he will change something, and he will leave the site without recording this, and that's it. The FactoryTalk Asset Center will prevent that. Anyone will make any change in the ladder, in the SCADA, or the configuration of whatever, this will be logged and audited. You will receive if you want an email that someone is playing now with your PLC, go and check. The next part of the integrated architecture, I'm just running a little operator interfaces. We have the panel views, the panel view and the mobile view and the Versa view. This is industrial computers. So the panel view 800 we have in stock. This is a small panel view. It can communicate with micro 800 with the compact logic CPU, but not the control logics. It is virtual network computing VNC server. It has up to 65 colors, offer flexible application, small application, let's say. If you need bigger application, we have panel view plus 7 and panel view 5000 and mobile view, that panel view plus 7 that you can carry and move around. So the panel view plus 7 is working with the FactoryTalk View Machine Edition. It comes with the 4-inch up to 19-inch with wide screen, aspect ratio 16:9. It support FTP server, embedded Ethernet port with DLR, remote connectivity over VNC and FactoryTalk Viewpoint, and it has a embedded server for Viewpoint. Viewpoint is our web server. So if you are anywhere in your site, you can write the IP of the HMI and use Viewpoint client to remote monitor and play with the panel view, of course, with a security access level. Okay, panel view 5000, it is programmed with the Studio 5000 View Designer. It is not based on FactoryTalk View, okay? It is based on Studio 5000. It is communicating back to back on the backplane with the CPU. Logic stack extended properties. You can emulate and test on your computer. Allow ability to create custom reusable add-on graphics. You know the add-on instruction on, let me mute all. Let's mute all. Add-on instruction for the logic CPU, you can add on graphics for the HMI panel view 5000. Mobile view, as I told you, you can have up to 15 meters. You can have, it is a 10-inch panel view plus 7. It is not heavy really. When I saw it first time, I thought it is very heavy, but you can hold it very comfortably. And you can move around the production line. That's very useful for people who need to be seeing what they are doing across the production line. Industrial computers, we have a very wide range of industrial computers now. I cannot cover in 1 or 2 slides, but we have VersaView 5400 industrial computers. We have hazard location industrial computers, and we have a new VersaView 5200 thin clients that will use with the thin manager. So in Rockwell Automation, we are taking from the device level, we have control logics, compute module, compact logics integrated with the computer, thin managers. We have the level 2 through level 3. We have the hardware computers or non-display computers. And we even have in the enterprise level, we have our industrial data center. We can help you with any level of computer, industrial computer, of course. We have the motion portfolio also. We have the rotary motors and servo motors. We have VP and MP levels, let's say smaller and bigger levels. We have kinetics servo drives. We have the different levels of kinetics. We have the iTrack for intelligent tracking system, which is very nice if you just Google iTrack or MagnaMotion. So we have all of the rotary motors. I'm just skipping some slides just to have a question and answer session. We have different levels. Again, scalability is there. We have starting from kinetics 5500, 5700, and 6500, starting with the from 600 watt up to 22 kilowatt motors and VFDs, servo drive for that motor. iTrack is a modular, scalable, linear motor system. It is very useful because you don't put the product on the conveyor, you put them on this cartridge and it will carry and go through the linear motion. Of course, we have the sensing portfolio. It is not instruments because some people always ask me if you have instruments. We have a strategic alliance with Endres and Hauser for instruments, but we have some sensors for the presence sensing, like photoelectric, proximity, ultrasonic, capacitive. We have limit switches for the the safety cell 3, heavy duty, and this safety and hazard location. We have HF radio frequency ID. We have some condition for food and beverage, pressure, temperature, level, and flow. But for the process, as I told, we go to Endres and Hauser sometimes. Safety again, cell 3, machine safety. We have safety relays. We have safety trip devices, emergency stop, pull, cable pull, e-stop, limit switch. We have presence sensing like light curtain, laser scanners, mats, or edges. So you will detect where is person to trip the machine in case of cell 2 issues. Safety switches. We have a lot of types of safety switches like guard locking. You don't allow people to go inside the machine or inside any door unless this is allowed by the safety system. Again, we have connectivity for all of these products we talk about. Passive safety connections, Ethernet media, device net media, control net media. And we have the linking technology like IO link, masters, guard link for the safety, heart link into the Ethernet to device net, Ethernet to foundation field bus, Ethernet to Profibus PA. That's, I hope I didn't take a lot of time, and we are open for any questions. Before questions, I need to, let's say, each product of those I just presented, I have like 30 minutes to 1 hour presentation, okay? So we can, you can tell us which product you want to focus on. You can just write in the chat window or something, and we other sessions based on that.
So thank you, Kamal. So I mean, I saw some of these questions appearing on the chat box. So hopefully I've replied to those and I've not missed any. But once again, if you have any questions, please go on, unmute your mic and you can ask. As well as I have shared hopefully some useful links to our website where you can find some more information related to some of the things that Kamal spoke about today. I mean, once again, as this is not the end of it. If you have any questions, you have the contacts. Please contact AQESA, and we'll be more than glad to help you out. So, but again, we have some few minutes left. If you have some questions, please ask or put it in the chat box as you wish.
If no questions, I have a couple of slides I left as additional slides. I can talk about a hint about Plant PX5. It is our new DCS. It is not new, it is there for more than 10 years. But Okay, I'll just talk about this. Plan PX5 is based on our new controllers, what we discussed a while ago. It is P controllers, where it is everything is embedded inside the controllers. So it is out of the box. 8 series of logics controllers, and workflow is easier now. Task model, you don't need to spend time creating the tasks. It is there already. You can have the fast, the normal, the slow, the system tasks. It is already coming with the CPU or with the Plan PX. And some pharmaceutical industries, they ask for FDA signature based on this signature and audit. So this is integrated in the the Plan PX. This is the 25 instructions included inside the firmware of the CPU. And now, if you work with the Plan PX before, to follow up the it is called BDB properties, where you can have all the information managed like this. If you have tags to communicate with the HMI, advanced tags, commands, alarms, and so on, you can have this and the new DCS configuration. Heart integration now, it is much easier. Just create a add-on instruction. You get all the information of the heart to this. Optimized instructions for the math. Some people don't like the big construction. That's a multiplication function, division function, and or function. It is looking like this now. You can, of course, if you like the old design, you can go back to the old design. 64-bit for time-stamped and 64-bit data type. It is there now. Unsigned short integer, double integer, and integer. Now we have some 64-bit tags for the database. Add-on instruction, extended tag properties. If you know what is the extended tag properties, that inside the CPU, DCS CPU, you can put information about the tag, the area of this tag, the instruction, the label, the library, where it is. Even if you have URL, you can put the URL. And all the information is inside the process instruction CPU. So you save a lot of time for the programming inside the SCADA or the HMI part of the SCADA. So when you create a tag inside the HMI, you will have all the information which you already extended inside the Logix CPU or the Planet PX CPU. This is the part I told you about automatic diagnostics. You just go to the advanced tab in the CPU configuration and go to enable automatic diagnostics. So the FactoryTalk VOC edition will get the information, and the alarm and events will get the information if any problem happened to your system or to your IOs or adapters or whatever. Data preserve download. Before you needed to download, let's say you take a backup this month from your controller, and you will download it after 3 or 4 months or 1 year. The option of having, let's say you have a flow totalizer, or you have some calculations or whatever in the tags, you need to download this after 1 year. You will have the information that was there a year ago. But now you can preserve download, and you download only the ladder, but don't download the tag database or the tag values. So this will save time, first of thing, save memory, and you will keep the latest information on your CPU. SOTU 5000 simulation, you can use SOTU 5000 to simulate your ladder or your coding during programming, during configuration. You can simulate the operation itself to operators using a software to make this, and you can simulate everything. Even in the simulation level, we have emulate 3D. This is a software that can help you to emulate your production line, your process, your whatever, using the software. Everything done, the OEM will make this for you, and you can configure everything like software. So we start from the very small level in simulator. We have the Micro 800 simulator for small system. We have Logix 5 emulator We have Arena simulation software. We have now emulator 3D for simulation. This is, you can use all of them together and let's say integrate them together. Of course, with PTC Creo, with SolidWorks, with Autodesk Inventor. Another thing about Control Flash Plus, if you know our Control Flash, this software was used to, let's say, burn the firmware on the new devices. And when we use Control Flash before, we need to burn one by one device by one device. We have now Control, it is not now, it is like 2 years ago, but maybe not everyone is aware of that. Control Flash Plus is a software that you can see all the devices on the network, all the modules on the network. You can burn the firmware or upgrade the firmware immediately, all of them at the same time. And that's it for me.
Thanks, Kamal. I'm just trying to see the chat box if something
Yeah,
is there. But
just we shared in the chat box the survey as a very short survey, just 8 points. If you can share with us your feedback for this webinar and your also expectation for the next webinar next month.
Pankaj, we had a question about cybersecurity.
What was that question? No, I'm just trying to scroll quickly.
It was more about how do they get an update?
Okay. So there was, I've seen that. Just saw that. So there is, I mean, again, cybersecurity is a very broad topic, so it's a combination of products, software, solution. There's a lot of things around that. So I think somewhere in this chat box, I have shared a link which describes what is the company's strategy around cybersecurity. But again, as I said, we are more than happy to have a much more detailed discussion on that, because just like safety, I mean, it is not something which is fulfilled just by the product or a particular software. You have to take a very holistic approach to it. I mean, as Rockwell, we actually implement and design the security right into the product itself, and then on top of that, you need to have a lot of other things also to complete your entire security, system. There are a lot of things around that. As far as the cyber attacks and other things, in fact, the vulnerability on our products also, we openly disclose it, and there is a dedicated advisory on our website, which anybody can bookmark that, and they will get notifications. So as and when we come to know about any such issues with our products or software, we immediately announce that and publish that, as well as the workaround and the software patch to overcome that. So it's again, as I said, security is a very broad subject. But we are more than happy to discuss in detail about your particular needs. Okay. And again,
the other
as I
point
said,
is, I think we have in-kingdom resources which can do survey assessment of your whole network, and probably address some of the loopholes which you have. So that's something which you can also consider if you want to take as a service.
Correct. Yeah, that's right. And again, as I said, this is, as I said, it's a very detailed subject. So we can have much more detailed discussion on this particular subject. Because we know, I mean, that it is a very hot topic at the moment. Across, I mean, globally actually, not just in the kingdom, everywhere. And definitely, we are doing a lot of things on this topic.
Mr. Hafiz, you raised your hand. Do you have a question? Do you need to ask anything? So you can unmute you. Yeah, so go ahead,
Yes,
please.
Sir, I would like, first of all, thank you for this presentation. And secondly, I would like to ask one question. What you recommend control logics model in the highly hazardous area where S2S is there and highly corroded area?
Understood. So that's a good question, and Kamal, somewhere in your presentation, if you can try to go back to that slide. So we have a specific version of control logics, which is meant for extreme environments, which includes a high temperature, low temperature also, but low temperature is not an issue in our part of the world, but high temperature is. So you can use it up to 70 degrees Celsius, as well as it is conformally coated up to G3. So to your question, yeah, it can be used in that kind of environment, which is corrosive, H2S and SO2, nitrous oxide, all those corrosive gases are there. It can be easily used. And it is again, as is shown on the slide, it is not just limited to the controllers. We have a wide range of IO platforms as well, communication modules, all of them can be used in such environments, and they are all conformal coated to the highest degree, which is G3. And there are, to add to that, there is a huge installation of such modules in the kingdom and elsewhere in the other countries as well. So it's a good question.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, and again, I will just repeat that if you have any follow-up question, any further information, please do contact AQESA. The email has been shared, as well as the form that Majid has shared. We would absolutely love to have your feedback on those forms. What would you like to see in future? What you liked on this session, you did not like, what can be improved? And any specific questions, any discussions around projects or opportunities that you have, any help you need from Rockwell and AQESA to help you, with your automation needs, please do let us know. Please fill up the forms and let us have the feedback.
Okay, there is a
question on libraries. Yes.
Yeah. About cell library, actually, even the plant-based library, it is free to download. It is not against cost. And the cell2 blocks, you can download from our product compatibility download center. It is there for 1715 IOs. It is there for control logics IOs. You can download it for free. Just go to product compatibility and download center and write cell2 blocks. You'll download them. Cell2 add-on instruction, add-on profile. You can download them very easy and not against any cost.